Hi, welcome to this video in which we are going to see another grammar lesson that corresponds to Speak Your Mind 3. In this case, we are going to see the grammar reference, unit number 8, page 153. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to review the definition of third conditional. When do we use the third conditional? Well, basically, we use it to talk about events that did not happen in the past, so we match in the effects of past conditions that need that did not happen. In other words, we are talking about hypothetical situations. So, in order to understand much better this, we're going to see here the formula. As you can see here, I am presenting two formulas. The one that is here above, you can see that we have the if conditional, the subject, had not, the verb in the past participle, plus subject, the three options, would, could, might. They could go in the negative form, by the way, plus have, plus the verb in the past participle. Or the other form, the other way that could be subject, plus would, could, not, plus have, plus the verb in the past participle, plus the conditional if, plus subject, plus had or had not, and the verb in the past participle. The only difference, if you pay particular attention to this, is the order. In the first one, I start with the if conditional, then comes the result clause. In the second formula, I start with the result clause, and then comes the if conditional. Okay, in order to understand much better this, we are going to do some examples for the book, page 153, exercises A and B that correspond to the grammar reference. Let's read instructions. The instructions say, exercise A, choose the correct option. Basically, what I have to choose is the appropriate word in this case. So let's analyze it. He would have got the job if he, here I have two options, hadn't or had been so nervous in the interview. Well, basically, what I'm going to do in this case, I'm going to copy and paste this information, and I'm going to choose the correct word. In this case, if you notice, this sentence starts with the result clause. If we would have got the job, sorry, he would have got the job, and then comes the conditional. If he, what do I need in this case? In this case, the correct answer should be had been so nervous. He would have got the job if he hadn't been so nervous in the interview. So that is what I have to correct, and that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I delete hadn't, and the correct answer should be, give me a second, please. He would have got the job if he hadn't been so nervous. The thing is that he was nervous. That's why he could not get the job. So the correct answer would be hadn't. Let's continue with number two. Okay, number two says, what would or wouldn't you have done if you had been me? So in this case, I'm going to copy and paste this. Give me a second, please. Okay, we're going to copy and paste, and now we are going to choose the correct answer, or the correct choice in this case, the correct word. What, in this case, the correct answer is the verb would. What would you have done? What would you have done if you had been me? Okay, so we're going to change the color, and we're going to choose the correct answer, that is would, and I'm going to use yellow in order to identify it. Let's continue with number three. Okay, here we had example number three. If it hadn't been snowing heavily, we might carry it. And the other option is we might have carried on skiing. Now tell me, what do you think the correct answer is? So let's analyze it. In this case, the conditional is if it hadn't been snowing heavily, we remember that we can use would, could, or might. In this case, we have the word might. And after might, we need the verb have and then the verb in the past participle. So in this case, for example, the first option is incorrect, and the second one is the correct answer. So I would say might have carried. Might plus have plus the verb in the past participle. That would be the correct option. Let's continue with number four. Here we have number four. Okay, let's analyze it. The company would have survived if there didn't hadn't been a recession. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this. I'm going to copy and paste, and we are going to choose the correct answer. Well, as you can see here, we start with the result clause. The company would have survived, and then comes the if clause. If there, so in this case, what I have to do is I have to choose, first of all, hadn't, because according to the formula, I need the auxiliary, which in this case is in the negative form. Then I need the verb in the past participle, which is been, and the complement. So the correct option is the second one. Okay, now we are going to see some exercises that correspond and that are going to help you in order to do exercise B. So let's read the instructions. The instructions say, complete the third conditional sentences with the correct form of the verb in parentheses. Use would in the main clause. All right. So in order to do these exercises, I have here the formula, the two formulas, either the first or the second, in order to be able to do the exercises more accurately. So here says, we're going to copy this in order to do it faster. Okay, so here says, if, after if, I need a subject. And what I have to do, I need had, first of all. So if I had, the verb is leave, I need a past participle, left. If I had left earlier, I. According to the instructions, I have to use would. So I say, I would have, I would have. But in this case, if you pay attention to number one, it says that I have to use the negative form. So in this case, I say I would have not missed my flight. So here I have the conditional had left, and here I have the result clause would have not missed. There you have exercise number one. All right, perfect. Let's continue with exercise number two. Here, I'm going to copy and paste. So it's going to be much easier for me to do the exercise because of the time. Okay, let's see. In this case, I have to use formula number one. So I say, if we, I have to use had, had taken, the verb in the past participle, a taxi. We, okay. Here I have negative form. So I have, according to instructions, I have to use would, wouldn't, have, missed, plane. So in this case, I have had taken, had plus the verb in the in the past participle, and wouldn't have missed the plane, the result clause. Perfect. Now we continue with number three. Number three says, she not be tired if she go to bed earlier. Okay, so let's do it. In this case, if you pay attention to this exercise, we have to use the second formula. Why? Because I'm starting with the result clause. So I say, she negative wouldn't, she wouldn't have been tired if she, in this case, I need to use had and the verb in the past participle. In this case, had gone to bed earlier. In this case, I start my sentence with the result clause. So I'm going to use light blue. And then I finish it with the if clause. In this case, had gone. There you have example number three. We're going to continue with number four now. Okay, here it says, she become a teacher if she go to university. Which formula do you think we have to use? Well, in this case, we have to use the second formula because I'm starting again with the result clause. So let me copy and paste. So what do I do? According to the instructions, I have to use would. So she She would have she would have become teacher if she, in this case I need a verb had plus the verb in the past participle. If she had gone to university. You can see here I start with the result clause, would have become. I'm going to use light blue in order to highlight the keywords. And had gone, I'm going to use the past perfect. In this case, had plus the verb in the past participle. Well, I hope these exercises help you in order to work on the grammar reference. So now I think you are ready to work on grammar reference. Unit number 8, page 153, exercises A and B. Thank you very much for watching this video.